Okay, so you're saying that the choice, the delete button, is not going to be pushed. That option has already passed.
Well, let's say it's on the table, but the hand is away from it. That's, as I say, it's an extreme measure.
Okay, and so what we're looking at is some kind of corrective energy that will, once affected, makes all of this basically go away as if it never happened.
It's like your computer hard drive has got a series of intractable Trojan viruses, and you think you get rid of one, and another comes up, and it's just been endless.
Yes.
And so these correction energies are not only the ultimate, so to speak, in an antivirus inoculant. It's also a whole new operating system that eventually alters the physicality of what it resides in to begin with, eventually.
Okay.
And part of it is that it never can happen again.
Well, let's hope so. So
errors can still occur, but they don't need to be so horribly destructive and self-destructive also.
So what you're saying is that we wouldn't be copying the virus into the new system.
That's the plan.
Okay, now, from today forward, how might we see that playing out? Because obviously, the old systems and paradigms and the corrupt, the apples are all corrupt.
The momentum is still there. They still have momentum. There's no question. It would be foolishness to say otherwise.
All right. So how do we discern between what's true and false, and how to really move in alignment with the highest energies that are here now?
So you're asking for a few thousand years of accumulation in 5 minutes.
Well,
I think the important thing is this: that rather than keep shopping around and pursuing yet one more piece of information, I think for those individuals who are at a state where they can say, however it got to this point, I can see that we're not going to fix it from the level of knowledge, consciousness, energies, etc., that we presently have.
Right.
Hence, there can only be some additional help from outside. An individual may believe or acknowledge that they carry within them a divine spark of creation.
Okay.
They go, if that's the case, let that become what my attention is, rather than the endless parade of suffering.
Yes.
Because it is now, with pushing 7 billion humans on the planet, endless suffering. And while it's wonderful to be of aid, and those people who are recipients of relief, can connect with that quality of caring and goodness that's there, that the bigger question has to do with how to make this so that never again is the case, and we can move to a whole new level of existence where this does not become endlessly engendered in one form or another and replicated like a bad virus.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's really where individuals such as myself and others have put our attentions increasingly over the years and turned from some of these other things, because we recognize there'll always be people out of their goodness trying to help, but that's really not what's going to make everything change. So there will be no need for that.
Right.
It would be much better to use that energy for creative purposes. I think the important thing is, first of all, is for those individuals who can, at least however they may feel it or acknowledge it, is to put their intention and then their attention to welcoming these very high correction energies, finding some means, even if it's a simple matter of being very quiet and not looking outside all the time, but to find that quality, because there's something else going on. And that is, and this is like putting on their own oxygen mask, okay? The old adage, put your oxygen mask for helping other people. So there's another quality, and that is, even if humans seem incredibly dumber and everything in every respect and less discerning today, something has happened over time where the human personality self, the human self, has become more dense, more substantive.
Okay.
And there are possibilities for the human self to develop and evolve into something very different than perhaps they could have even been possible 10,000 years ago or 100,000 years ago. At the same time, there's this other quality that we might call the higher being or the soul self that has this intimate connection and interface with the human self. And this is something that we would have to continue another time. Okay. And this is an extraordinary situation. And there are those, either for good, out of ignorance, but out of good intentions, or out of deliberate, malevolence, are facilitating this as part of this dark correction, this dark process. And that is to promote the human self prematurely as the ultimate. And that has been a pursuit of one faction of dark forces for a very, very long time, and to promote that. And,
so where are the light forces? If the dark forces are basically, this is their real estate, and we're their
but there's something, even if you were to accept that the dark created the human physically,
right?
The concept, the template, the very metic, whatever you want to call it, that it was about, has divine origins.
Yes.
Because and that even if it was implemented through what I call the meat grinder of the dark side, that now, with all that you may be considered good and bad that has occurred in the entire sweep of human existence on this planet, for example, the possibility exists for something extraordinary to occur that represents a higher level, not a restoration, but a higher level of attainment of what the whole purpose of creating a physical being that was sentient to begin with. Despite all of the horrendous things that some people have discovered that have been done to control, manipulate, and basically screw around with this from day one.
Well, we're going to have to segue out. Unfortunately, we're just getting to the nitty-gritty, the meat and the jewels here. So we're going to have you back, Alex, because this is a terrific dialogue, and it's so important for all of us to begin thinking and communicating at this level, because it really does, it's about peeling away the layers and getting to, really what's important, and stop focusing on the BS.
Well, and no one's asked me to try to squeeze this all into 45 minutes before.
And then Mercury cut us off for a few minutes, so I'll make this up to you for the next time. We'll pick up where we left off, because now I feel like the plane is kind of starting to take off. We'll pick this up back in the air, and we'll start taking this to where we can get some kind of good orderly direction going. So I want to thank you so much, Alex, for being on the show. I just love talking to you, and tell people where your website is again, because there's some terrific writing there. It's all freely available.
But you have it on your website, but it's PFCN. That would be Peter Francine Charlie Nancy.net.
Wonderful. Yeah. Alex, thanks again, and we'll set and rematch.
All right. Have a good evening.
All right. You too.
Thanks.
And good night, everybody. Bye-bye.